This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Are we starting?
It's live now. It's live.
Okay.
This is happening. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well, if it isn't episode 89 of Electric Fan Cave on electricfeast.com, I'm Corrigan Vaughn coming at you with Kristen Latterell, and finally, at long last, the one and only producer Bree. Yes, producer Bree has decided to grace us with her presence as we step into a new era of Fan Cave.
The light turned off.
Why did the light turn off, Kristen?
It's on a timer. It's on a timer.
For those listening at home and not watching the YouTube, the lights just turned off in the abode in which Brienne and Kristen are recording.
Is this too bright? I feel like we're going to get abducted by aliens.
It does have that vibe. It has an alien abduction vibe, to be sure.
Next week we're talking about X-Files.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Is it better?
How about that? How about this?
It's
That's worse.
It's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay.
Well, she's figuring out the lighting situation. Today we're trying out a whole new thing here on the Fan Cave. We're going to do a little trivia.
Woo!
We'll tell you a little bit more about how that's going to work, but we hope you've been paying attention to pop culture this week. And if not, next week you'll pay better attention so you can win fun prizes from the Fan Cave. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, maybe, except Brian and Kristen are just wandering aimlessly.
Bree's smarter than me. She unplugged it out of the timer and plugged it into the wall. Technology, you guys. Technology.
Geniuses. I have high hopes for our trivia tonight.
Not just a hat rack, y'all. Well, she's not. I'm just a hat rack.
She's just a hat rack.
Oh, man. Are you, I thought you were both wearing your Guardians of the Galaxy tee for a second. I was excited.
No, we're both wearing the shirts we wore previously.
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday? I mean,
I wore this one on Sunday.
Oh, I wore this one.
I wasn't going to out you as like, I just saw you guys in those t-shirts this very weekend, but you did it yourself. So
Breeze, does that count? I put deodorant in today.
Oh, good for you. I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah. This weekend we all got to have some hang time.
Woo!
Which was delightful. I think one of the highlights for all of us was that we went to Memphis for brunch yesterday.
Not the city.
Oh yeah, not the city. Memphis, the restaurant in Costa Mesa, California. We went to Memphis for brunch yesterday, the three of us and a friend of ours from Colorado. And we were telling a story. Have we told the story, the What's in the Box story on the Fan Cave before?
Oh, good, because I have a follow-up story after, so it goes with the story. So
her name was Sarah?
Oh boy, this is the gift that keeps on giving.
No, her name was Tracy. I looked it up. Her name was Tracy.
Yeah, we determined that. So anyway, we were telling a story. We have a dear friend named Michelle. And Michelle worked at a place in Newport Beach with a lot of wealthy white people who didn't have a huge grasp of pop culture. And so she one day was at work and a package arrived. And everybody kept asking what was in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? And Michelle, being a little more pop culture savvy, started quoting Seven and repeatedly then going, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" Really dramatically. And when her coworkers didn't understand what she was talking about, she didn't stop doing it and explain the joke. She just got more into it.
Because obviously what the problem was her delivery. Right,
yeah, clearly, if you deliver it correctly, everyone's going to know. So she's tweaking. So we were talking about this story the other day in this place. And as we finish up our brunch, one of the guys who works in the...
Kind of a while after we finished telling this story.
Right.
A while after we finished this, at the point where like we're not thinking about it anymore, a guy who works there comes up to us and just starts going, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" And Kristen gave him exactly the look I imagine our friend Michelle's coworkers gave her. And he was like, I heard your table talking about Seven. I had to. I love that movie. I love Seven. I'm like, okay, cool.
He was impressed that a group of women were bringing up that quote.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is last night my roommate went on a date, and there's a group of us watching Bachelor at the girls that live next door, and so she came home from her date, and so she was telling us about it. And the guy that she went out with does some stuff for Toyota, and she drives a Toyota Highlander. And then so he said to her, like, oh, I should get you a Highlander t-shirt. And I was like, oh, there can only be one. And I mean, like, crickets. You could have heard a pin drop, and everyone just blankly stares at me. And I'm like, but I immediately called to, and then I'm like, that would have killed in my other group. And so then I tell them the story of Michelle and what's in the box. And they're laughing so hard at that then they thought that the response to Highlander was what's in the box, not only be one, because they don't know what's in the box. And so then they keep saying, like, what's in the box? I'm like, that's not what that means. You guys are ruining this entire joke.
So it's like, there can only be one. What's in the box? That's what they thought?
Yeah.
They're all going to be, like, doing this at parties, thinking they're, like, super up on things.
No, yeah, apparently they thought it was the worst. And so now my roommate saying what's in the box to me, and I'm like, you're ruining the joke and, like, the essence of what's happening here.
Oh,
no,
that is
so many layers of that joke now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it just
it's pretty disastrous. It's pretty, yeah. It's so funny that, like, we just been telling that story of, like, no one getting her joke, and if you guys, seriously, it was, like, legit silence. Like, no one even gave me a pity, like, pretended like they knew. They were just like, oh. It's bad. And I couldn't even do the Tim thing because no one there would have known that either. So I just kind of.
Man, that's rough. That's rough.
That is rough.
Hey, by the way, do you have Q&A open, Kristen, on yours?
No, but I can't
open up Q&A. So Kia wants to know: is Brienne going to tell a story tonight?
No.
No, Keo. No stories from Brienne.
I already know all my stories, Keo. I don't have any new ammunition.
Yeah, but everyone else has heard your stories.
They have.
Okay, that's good. Everywhere. I'm sure she will. You just hang around. You hang around. You'll hear the stories.
We're just getting started here, ladies and gentlemen.
A sad thing is, I tried to. I was like, oh, I'm gonna promote this. So that people will know this is happening, and we'll get people who will answer questions. It'll be great. Because as we know, if I post anything on the Electric Fan Cave page, Facebook only shows it to like 8 people on average, which is disheartening. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna post this and I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna pay money to promote it. And Facebook rejected my advertisement.
That's rude.
I didn't know to do that.
I looked, it was like, here, click this link and you can see some of the reasons why things are rejected and figure it out. I'm like reading through, I'm like, I don't understand. It just doesn't like us, I think.
That's rude. Everybody likes us.
Yeah,
we're
everybody likes us, Facebook. We are delightful, is what I'm saying. So screw you, Zuckerberg. Whatever. Keo says yes, which I think is to his thinking you are going to.
Oh, right. Either that or yeah.
Oh, he's happy she's not.
Facebook rejected you.
Yeah.
Block Keo. Rude.
So rude. Anyway, so tonight, I mean, I realized I didn't even ask you guys how you're doing. It launched into this story. I just went with it. How you guys doing this fine evening?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm house sitting. We're gonna the reason I got Bree to be on the show is I convinced her. I said you should come over and record because then at 9 or a little after when we're done and recording it, we're gonna watch Agent Carter.
Did it air tonight?
It's premiering tonight. So this is a big night, you guys.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing and you know this, Flash came back tonight, which is huge. And then there's the premiere of DC's Legends of Tomorrow is going to come on after that, followed by a kind of sneak peek at the dawn of the Justice League that Kevin Smith is making. So it's a big night for comic shows.
It's huge. So we'll try to get you out of here in time to start catching all of those things on the television because it's important that you see all of this.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening tonight. So we're going to do that. And then if you're into it, I know I'm the only one that watches it, but Chicago Med is back on tonight, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, good. I'm so
Manning
glad.
finally is going to have her baby, but there's obviously going to be complications.
Because there's going to be a bomb in it, and then the helicopter will hit them.
I'm sure there'll be
There's
some.
definitely a bomb in the baby, and Kyle Chandler is going to explode.
Well, it sounds like when
Kyle
she
Chandler
has
will
the baby, it's quiet. It sounds the baby's crying. So I'm
The
wondering.
best kind of baby.
It's a Scientology baby.
What?
Yeah, the Scientologists do silent birth.
But the baby's not the one that's quiet. It's the mom that's supposed to be quiet.
I'm like, F that. I'm pushing a child, like a watermelon out of my vagina. Can I say vagina?
No.
I'm
Oh,
pushing
you said it. It's
a watermelon out of my vagina. I can scream as much as I want, people.
That's clearly a religion made by a dude.
Yeah,
Right.
Clearly.
He's like, I'm not really into all that screaming. Could you
Maybe just a little,
maybe just like hold it down? Hold it down.
You should
you're at about a
wear
10.
headphones.
If you could take it down to about a 0.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So.
I can't believe Katie Holmes did that. Anyways, so we'll try to get through this. So here's the deal for today and maybe the future. I think this could be fun. We'll see what happens. Instead of simply blasting through a list of topics, we're going to play a little game with it. We're going to have a little fun. So I am going to ask Brienne and Kristen and you, the audience, whether you're listening later on or you're listening now. Doesn't matter. Either way, a set of questions. And we're going to talk about the topics afterwards. So I'm going to ask these questions about things that have happened in pop culture in the past week. We're going to answer them and we're going to have a little chat about them. So if you get the answer right, well, if you're the first person to get them right, we'll call your name out. We'll give you credit where credit's due. Kristen and Brienne are going to compete against each other. So we'll see who comes out victorious at the end of this game. And at the end, the very end, we're going to have one question that Kristen and Brienne will not answer and we will not discuss. And that question, the first to answer it on our Twitter at Electric Fancave or on our Facebook, Electric Fancave, will win this delightful $25 gift card to the movies, because we're all about that.
If you don't live in America, this might not be great for you.
If you don't live in America, we'll figure something else out. We'll send you something else. But if you live somewhere, if you live in Santa Barbara, it's also useless.
Yeah. And if you don't live by a Regal, let us know. We'll figure out something else.
We'll figure something out. If you live where there's a Regal, you get this $25 gift card to Regal. If you don't live near that, I think there's a $25 gift card to Cheesecake Factory here as well. And if you don't live near one of those, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
We'll send you, Brienne's firstborn. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But sorry, Brienne, I've already.
Then what's your new cat's name?
Poe.
You can have Poe.
We have a delightful antisocial cat named Poe. There you go. So, shall we get started, you guys? Are you ready?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Look at this
First
thing.
question. Because 2016 has been particularly brutal to us, we have lost yet another great, Mr. Alan Rickman. So, in honor of the great Rickman, our first question has to do with him.
Yeah.
So, here we go. You ready, guys?
Yeah, hands on your buzzers.
Hands on your buzzers. If you at home are here, answer in the Q&A on the Google event page, and we'll look for it. Or on Facebook if you must, but whatever. Anyway, when Alan Rickman was cast as Severus Snape in the Harry Potter films, J.K. Rowling told him one secret that affected his entire performance throughout the series, sometimes forcing him to contradict his directors. What was the secret?
A doe.
What?
Yes, you're on the right track.
Oh.
That
He's
he
in
was
love
in
with
love
her
with
mom?
Lily.
Wait. Okay, what? Hold on.
We wrote because he was in love. She told him that he was in love with Lily.
Essentially, yes. Who answered that? I mean, I guess I should give that to Bree, because essentially you were going with the Patronus, right? That's what you were aiming for.
He's a nice guy.
What does he
Wait,
mean by
what?
that?
I think he meant Severus Snape. Like the thing that she told him was that he was a nice guy.
Oh.
I think the best part of this night is going to be Kio's answer.
Probably. Kyo's Hawaiian commentary. Yes. So according to J.K. Rowling, basically over the course of the years, did you guys read about this?
No.
Okay. Over the course of the past several years, basically since he was cast, Alan Rickman has always said, I have this secret that J.K. Rowling told me, but I will never tell it to anyone else, and he didn't. He never did. I mean, I don't know, maybe he told like his wife or whatever, but he never like publicly said it.
I heard he's a very loyal person, was a very loyal person. So.
Yeah, that's what it seems. So he never said anything about it, but
he made him be a secret keeper.
Yep. And someone finally asked on Twitter, what will you tell to J.K. Rowling? They said, will you tell us the piece of information that you told Alan Rickman about Severus Snape, or will that forever be a secret? And J.K. Rowling tweeted, I told Alan what lies behind the word always, which is pretty great. So either of you want to delve into what that means?
No.
I can.
Go for it, Kristen.
Okay. So always was the term, was just kind of, well, in the movies and in the books and stuff, it was always this reasoning for everything that he did, was the fact that he had been in love with Lily Potter, and so everything that he did was always because of her. So the things that, when he came back and talked to Dumbledore and was like, I can't believe that she's dead, like what do I do, like, and he's like, help me protect the kid, and he does. And even though he's like really terrible to Harry most of the time, and he like begrudgingly though helps him, and there's always a part of me that was kind of like, why does he keep helping? Like, he doesn't even like this kid, And then
he's not a nice guy.
And so he just keeps going and he keeps helping and keeps doing all these things. And at the end of the 7th book, he gives Harry his memories, and Harry's going through and kind of delves into the Pensieve and watches all these memories. And towards the end of it, you find out that Snape's Patronus is the same as Lily Potter's. And Dumbledore's kind of questioning him. He's like, oh my gosh, after all these years, and Snape just looks at him and says, always, like, of course, So it's a very kind of heartbreaking love story.
Deer is a heart. What? A deer is a heart.
A deer is a heart?
Wow, Bree. Wow. Yeah. This is, the only reason I know that is because my in-laws playing Boggle use that word a lot, heart.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would have no idea that that's the same thing, which is why I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now.
I was like, I feel like you're making a pun, but I have no idea what it is.
The cadence of your voice suggests that you are making a joke.
I see it. I honor it. I don't understand it. That's all I'm saying. I thought that was great. I mean, there was a thing going around this week that was not actually a quote from Alan Rickman, but everyone attributed to Alan Rickman about, him being 80 years old
or reading.
Yeah. Reading Harry Potter to his kids, and when they say after all this time, he'll say always, which was actually, I think it's actually even sweeter that the origin of that quote actually was like some sort of contest, and it was like to meet Alan Rickman or something of that nature, and so a fan actually wrote that.
Oh,
like, someday, someday I'm gonna be 80 years old and I'm gonna say this, to my kids, and I was like, that's really sweet. That's delightful.
Really
awesome.
that.
Yeah, but losing Alan Rickman was a very sad moment. I think.
That one was rough.
That was really rough.
That was one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I guess because the initial, and I got like multiple text messages throughout the morning, and all of them were like Hans Gruber, which is funny because it's like he was like so mean. He was like such a bad guy, and he played the bad guy so well.
He's brilliant. He brings a humanity to Hans Gruber.
And I think that almost makes him such an even better actor, is the fact that anybody who knew him tells you that he's like the greatest person they've ever met. And I'm like, really? Such a douche, but it was one of those ones.
He cheated on his wife,
and
and
then
cheated on his wife.
Went and bought her a present.
He gave her a Joni Mitchell CD.
Yeah. He killed a bunch of people. He tried to cut out Robin Hood's heart with a spoon. It was very terrible. But anyway, so but I'd forgotten that the movies that I'd actually seen him in other than that, because I'm like, I was like, oh, just saw him in those two. I'm like, oh no, wait, I guess I kind of would see him in more things, and I'd kind of forgotten about the other things he'd been in. And Sense and Sensibility. So that was one that Mindy Kaling was saying was her favorite. That was her.
I saw a lot of that. Yeah, a lot of Sense and Sensibility and a lot of Galaxy Quest on my timeline.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Galaxy Quest too. You didn't see a whole lot of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but
yeah, no, probably like 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah. But I appreciated that one.
Indeed. It's nice to be reminded of those smaller elements of legacy, and that's kind of the nice thing. Like, last week when it was David Bowie, we were all mourning, some like little things came out of the woodwork that you're like, I'd forgotten that was a thing, or I'd never seen that. And the same thing happened with Alan Rickman, is that you're like, whoa, like I forgot that he was in that thing that I loved, or I'd never seen this, or like I don't know if I realized fully the extent of how wonderful a human being he was. Like, it's kind of like, it's like, yeah, apparently people really like him, but seeing the stories people told,
right?
Daniel Radcliffe's letter
was beautiful. It was short and sweet and perfect, so it's good.
Yeah. Also pulled up, did you guys see this? This was going around as well when Rupert Grint had told the story about drawing a picture of Alan Rickman while they were filming. Did you see that? Oh, this is great. So they were like, sitting in the classroom, during potions class, and he was kind of bored or whatever. So he was drawing Alan Rickman in his like notebook, but it was a really unflattering portrait of Alan Rickman. He's like, the features are really exaggerated. Like it was a bad drawing or whatever. And so he said Alan Rickman came up and saw the picture. And because like they're children, like they were like what, 10, 11 years old when they started this series. And so he was like genuinely terrified of Alan Rickman. Like he was Professor Snape to him.
Yeah. 10 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah, exactly. And so Alan Rickman took the picture and like, he was like, oh no. But he made Rupert Grint sign it. And they like showed like an interview like years later that someone asked Alan Rickman about it. He's like, oh yeah, I still have it. It's like, I love that drawing. It's amazing. I still have that. I was like, that is
so cute.
So great. How adorable is that? So yeah. Happy trails.
Happy trails, Hans, but in a nice, happy way, not a sarcastic way.
Not in a sarcastic way, in the most genuine way. Happy trails. You did us good over your time here. We're happy about it. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah, hit it up.
All right. Surprise! Cloverfield is getting a sequel. The trailer debuted
said.
Huh?
He's just trying to answer.
No, that was not the answer. You got ahead of yourself. Now you don't get to answer yet. Brienne gets the first shot.
Say it.
Brienne gets the first shot now. The trailer.
She's the one that said
it. Because I win by saying Mary Winstead.
Sorry, I thought Kristen did.
The one that yelled Mary Elizabeth Winstead out of these two people sitting here.
That's a good point. That's on me. That was it. So Brienne, you have to pause, and Kristen gets the first shot at the answer to the question. So the trailer for 10 Cloverfield Lane, the sequel, debuted before which film released this past Friday?
I know this one.
13 Hours,
the story of Benghazi's secret soldiers.
13 Hours.
That too.
Correct. Good job, Kristen. That is a point for you. So we are 1-1.
1-1.
1-1 so far. Well played. What do you guys think? We watched the trailer for Cloverfield.
Yeah, I never saw the movie, the other one, and so I kept reading articles because I didn't really understand how they were connected.
It's just more like it's in the same vein.
Yeah, so what it kind of sounds,
relative.
The article that I read makes it sound like to me is it's more like like this one time I read The Giver, and then I read the companion book to The Giver. And it had nothing. I kept thinking it was going to be a sequel. Like, oh, we'll figure out if Gabe and Jonas made it, at the end.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a sequel. It was a companion book as to it's making you think that along with the like utopian society that The Giver has, that there's these other kind of pockets of society that live in seclusion as well.
Oh.
And that they have their own set of weird rules, and they're kind of, there's always like the similar story was that there's like a kind of one person who sort of rebels against that, or, you know.
Wait, so are there actual sequels? Like, do you ever?
No, they're not sequels.
There's
They're
only
called
the companion
They're in the
books?
same.
No, they're just called companion books.
One's
So
a prequel, isn't it?
none of them have anything to do with The Giver, other than the fact that Lois Lowry wrote them, and they keep calling them companion books. But you never get any mention of any characters from The Giver. So that's what I kind of feel like that's what I kept reading. All the articles were kind of like, oh, it's just like it's very vague as to how it's even related. So I'm like, so maybe it's just not even the same thing, or maybe it is, like, maybe it's just a companion.
I feel like I've been so misled all this time because I've been thinking there were all these sequels that I didn't.
Yeah,
know.
I read them, and I really thought that there was some, like, at least one of them had, but I read them 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know they existed until we read The Giver for book club. So I had no idea. By the way, Kia, we will get to a Mary Elizabeth Winstead project shortly. He wants to know, Brienne, are there any new Mary Elizabeth Winstead projects we can
If you haven't seen the trailer, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in this movie with John Goodman,
looking good.
and
looking good.
another
But
guy.
this is crazy
There's
because
just
I didn't
3 people listed on the casting, which I think is amazing. So
Right.
it's
I
clearly-
didn't see Cloverfield either, because it looked like it was going to make me seasick. And so I don't know a ton about it. And so when I saw this trailer, I was like, I feel like I need to watch Cloverfield now, because what the heck is happening? Like, is it? I don't know what's going on, because they're basically in some sort of like safe house panic room type thing, and something starts happening outside, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, for whatever reason, feels the need to go toward it, and that causes violence to occur within this place. I'm like,
she was captured, remember?
She's John McClane's daughter. She's got to, like, crawl through air vents and stuff.
yeah, she's like, yippee-ki-yay.
Now I know what a TV dinner feels like. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
Well, the summary of the movie says that, like, she wakes up in this place, and the guy who took her tells her that he saved her from some, like,
Nuclear
nuclear something. But then Cloverfield, the original one, is like a monster movie.
That's what I thought.
It's kind of like, is he lying about the nuclear war because there's monsters? But, like, why?
Well, but the article that I read said at the end of Cloverfield, they nuked New York City in order to kill the monsters.
Oh, so they just like sacrificed everybody
Yeah.
to kill the monsters.
I don't know if that's true.
Makes
Like I said, I
sense.
haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where we're just talking out of our asses because no one's seen it. And this is all speculation from the internet, which clearly must be right.
Right. Well, and I saw all these articles that are like one was titled, "This is not the Cloverfield sequel you're looking for." And it's like, I thought that everybody hated Cloverfield. Why would
really?
you want to
I
see
thought people
I
liked it.
didn't hear anything good about it.
Aside from the nauseation thing, I always heard good things about it. Like, I heard it was good, but it'll make you
Okay.
sick. That was always what I heard.
remember
So.
anything about it.
But the interesting thing about this, though, was that, like, this was a weirdly well-kept secret. So, like, nobody had any idea this was dropping. And then all of a sudden, people came out of seeing 13 Hours, and they were like, we just saw a Cloverfield trailer. So some people, like, recorded it on their cell phones and posted it to the internet and all kinds of stuff like that. Like, it came out of nowhere. So this was, like, J.J. Abrams, like, legit kept this under wraps, to the point where, like, so Cloverfield, the original movie, Cloverfield was like its working title, and it wasn't supposed to be its actual title. But they ended up keeping it. And so the working title of this one was Valencia. And so the director of this, like, the only credit on his IMDb is Valencia. And so nobody thought anything of this. Like, random guy in production on a movie called Valencia, like, whatever.
Well, yeah, and the synopsis doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the other
with Cloverfield.
So even if you had stumbled upon Valencia from one of the actors' website or IMDb pages, you wouldn't have learned very much. And if you think about it, like I said, there's 3 actors in it, and you see them all in this trailer.
Yep.
And they look like, the movie looks like the whole thing takes place in a bunker. So they could have done this in someone's garage.
Yeah, and no one would know.
Camera, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the credits are going to be like really short. after I watched the trailer, I'm like, I can totally see how this was kept a secret. Like, you rename it something, no one thinks it's even a thing. No one knew he was working on it. Like,
yeah, I mean, which is kind of fun. That's very like, college filmmaking in a sense. So I bet that was really fun for them as a production team to make something like that. It's sort of a throwback.
To keep a secret about a movie, you should probably ask the guy who made the Star Wars reboot and the Star Trek reboot, who like wouldn't let people take scripts home.
Right, exactly.
You're gonna trust
and again, he also did not manage to keep Khan from us. So hit or miss.
Keep Khan.
Keep Khan a secret.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like a movie,
Or
like
keep
C-O-N.
Khan out of the movie.
I thought you meant like C-O-N.
No.
I was like, oh, like you pull the con on us?
K-H-A-N, Khan. That one. But yeah, I mean, I'm impressed by that in and of itself. I think that's pretty cool that he managed to pull that off. Yeah. BT Dubs, I did see 13 Hours this week. And it wasn't as bad as I expected, but there was an article on, I think it was Deadspin, that the guy went and saw it, like the premiere with Michael Bay and everything in like a big stadium in Texas, and everybody that he was with was like, America, bomb them all to hell, like, all this kind of stuff. And so he was like, I hated it. This was the worst. It was like crazy propaganda. Whereas I saw it in a theater where like 78% of the people with me were Hispanic, and like most of them were teenage girls. And so I did not have that experience at all. All I can tell you.
Yeah, that movie.
There's what?
The weird demographic for that movie.
It's the Goleta demographic more than it is anything representative of that movie. But all I can say is the eye candy in it is delightful, and there's a point where James Badge-Dale is throwing tires around in like a Speedo, essentially.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Attaboy.
Yeah, feel good about it. So, on that, I can recommend it. And yeah, it was pretty good. At the end, it gets really gory, really fast and out of nowhere. But otherwise, yeah, that's all right. Like, watch it on FX when it comes out in 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. Are you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah, what else we got?
All right. This is a medical science news question.
Oh, it's about Chicago Med. Hit me.
Okay, you guys. This week, a woman got a DUI on account of an unusual medical condition.
Oh.
What was it? You know? All right, let's hear it.
Gut fermentation.
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, the food that she makes gets fermented in her stomach to the point where it makes it into alcohol. So she said this, and they're like, okay, crazy pants, but they sat her with a nurse over a 24-hour period, and the nurse just watched her and sat with her and watched her, and she only ate food, and she kept checking her blood alcohol level, and it was like super high.
Yeah, it was like 0.34 or something. It was like an insane blood alcohol level. And they call it auto brewery syndrome, which is hilarious. Like, your body is a brewery.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Is that a John Mayer song?
The body is a brewery.
Yes. Let's get Weird Al on this one right now. Someone call up Weird Al's people. How do we get a hold of them?
That's catchy. That is catchy right there. This is amazing. Unfortunately for her, like, it's a funny story. Unfortunately for her, like, apparently having this auto brewery syndrome is just as bad as being an alcoholic. So it has all the same, like, repercussions on you that if you were drinking alcohol all the time, you would have. Which makes me wonder, like, can she
drive? Yeah,
you really, like, you can't drive when, like, your body just spontaneously is like, and you're drunk now. Good times.
That's like there'd be some diet she could go on with foods that wouldn't react that way.
She probably needs to go gluten-free.
Mm.
That's what everyone does whenever they get bloated or
if there's anything wrong with your body, you're just
when they got a cold. If their toe hurts, they're like, I gotta go gluten-free.
Oh, it's the gluten.
Like if their toe hurts, it's probably gout. So yeah,
they should probably go gluten-free.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there you go.
Itchy eyes, gluten-free.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Hair won't grow fast enough. Gluten-free.
Hangnail, gluten-free. I'm talking about. So yeah, that happened.
We're gonna get some angry comments on this.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
If you're gluten-free, good on you. That's fine. I'm just saying. No, I thought that was pretty incredible, though. I read that story and I was like, you guys, That's bananas. Can you imagine? Like, you probably can't drink at all, right?
I don't know. Or
Yeah.
does it backwards ferment? If it's already fermented, does it unferment it?
You like sober up.
It's a thing.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think that's medically accurate.
Backwards ferment.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's crazy though. Auto brewery syndrome. If you find yourself randomly drunk for no reason, maybe go to the doctor. You might have
Maybe not just once. Maybe someone drugged you, so maybe wait to see if it's like a constant thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just like you went out one night and maybe made some poor decisions, like, there
You know,
go.
if you left your
drink
cup unattended, then that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, but if that was not what happened and you felt drunk, auto brewery syndrome. Check
It's
it
okay.
out. All right, that was just, I had to do that as an aside. Next question. Oh, so Kristen got that one. Let me mark down your point there, Kristen.
How many questions do we have? I feel like you seem to really need to be keeping score.
Well, I mean, it's all our topics for the day, so it's all the things we would talk about. So today, we got to see a teaser for Pee-wee's Big Holiday, a made-for-Netflix movie premiering in March. What famous director's production company is behind this new Pee-wee installment?
Oh, I don't care. I guess we don't know the answer, so we can't talk about this.
No.
Pee-wee
What's the next question?
Pee-wee has always creeped me the hell out.
Same.
It's
Really?
so creepy.
I don't think I've watched any
I
of the
don't like
movies.
his voice. I don't like the way he looks at people. I don't like his
Isn't-
laugh. I
Isn't
don't.
he the one who like publicly exposed himself?
Yes.
That's all I think of.
Okay, not publicly, to be fair. It was an adult movie theater.
Okay.
I don't know what they expect of people in those places, to be honest with you. Every time someone gets arrested for something in a public...
Okay, but let's still talk about this.
adult movie theater.
Pee-wee was in an adult movie theater.
Well,
So there's also that part of the
it's
story.
America. But was there a sign on the movie theater in the correct font saying you're not allowed to expose yourself?
There probably was. I'm going to say it was probably illegal or whatever. I'm just saying, I don't know what they expect in those places. That's all. But here's the thing about Pee-wee, like that show, it was kind of for kids, but it was also like, it was an adult show. It's like watching something like Ren and Stimpy, where it's like,
Yeah,
so-
I also hated them. They were gross and creepy.
yeah, no, I hated Ren and Stimpy too. I'm merely making the connection of it being like, it's a thing that like is sort of
You're
for
just
kids.
solidifying your position that Pee-wee's the worst.
Okay, whatever. I love Pee-wee.
Okay. You go watch it by yourself.
Okay, we'll take a break.
Go
We can talk
to a
about
double
Pee-wee.
feature of Benghazi and Pee-wee Herman.
Really, by the way, our first complaint, Julie says, "Stop mocking gluten-free, Corey and Brienne."
Should we watch it?
Touche, Julie. Touche. Well played.
But she didn't say I had to stop, so I can keep going.
No, you're allowed. Kristen can mock gluten-free as much as possible.
Awesome.
Sucker. Anyways, Judd Apatow is the production company behind it. I think it'll be fun. I always liked Pee-wee. I thought it was
Judd
ridiculously
Apatow.
fun.
That guy.
To be fair, I'm not a huge Judd Apatow fan, but I love Freaks and Geeks, so
I'm sorry. Are we trying to compare Freaks and Geeks with Pee-wee Herman right now?
because
Yeah, I
it's
feel like
Judd
that
Apatow doing TV. That's
I feel
how
like that was a fluke.
No.
I don't know. I can't argue it completely. But I mean, like the trailer was cute though, right? Like that wasn't creepy. It was like a Rube Goldberg. He's like going through his morning routine. It's like Wallace and
Mentally
Gromit.
blocked it out.
What?
Phil's got the voice, and he's like, just like, what's his deal?
Yeah,
like,
he didn't know what stuff was or something. Is he Encino Man or something? I don't.
That's what it feels like. It does have that Encino Man feel. Like he's been like somehow he hasn't seen life progress since the 1980s or something.
Got stuck in his playhouse.
Yeah,
he was
'cause
in
he sees,
jail.
he sees
yeah,
like
he's
a
in jail for exposing himself.
terrible.
Probably is what happened. That house is a fire hazard, and I feel like that wall wasn't missing when the bed flipped him through it.
What?
What?
The Murphy bed folds up, and he like
Yeah,
passes through the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know. If that was true, the whole mattress and the blanket would just also fall through the wall. Like, if
I'm
there was
sure he has something in place for that, Kristen.
Not necessarily.
He's an
Could've
inventor.
Check on
Whatever.
that.
Let's not talk. Whatever.
Next
I'm just gonna have nightmares now about Pee Wee Herman.
You're welcome.
No,
All right, we'll move on.
he's not thanking you. Go eat.
What two comic book guys premiered the latest Suicide Squad trailer on the CW, a channel known for its adaptations of the DC?
CW. An arrow. CW.
Whoa,
What channel?
I'm sorry.
No, it's not what she asked.
Oh, what did you ask?
What two comic book guys debuted the
Oh.
trailer?
Kevin Smith and Jeff
Goldblum.
Nope.
Foxworthy.
Nope.
Jeff.
Apatow.
Nobody gets that point.
Yay!
Oh,
Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns. Jeff
No one knows
Johns.
who that is.
I
You get half a point.
Yeah.
75% of that.
Okay, 75% of that. I'll give you
Smith and
0.75.
Jeff someone.
And I know it's Jeff with a G. I can tell you that much.
That's true. That's a very good point. Jeff
No.
Johns of DC. Kevin Smith of Comic Book Men.
I don't
And
like
of
this
millions
game
of
anymore.
What?
I don't like this game.
You're not pulling your weight there, Bree. Get it
when
together.
when I was little and I was at my best friend's birthday party, her dad was like filming it on a camcorder, and he's like filming all the little girls playing a game, and then he comes like changes to a different room and I'm playing with the Playhouse, and he's like, Brienne, why aren't you out there playing with everyone else? And I said, I don't like games where people lose. And it's true. I don't like to lose, and I don't like to feel bad because other people have lost. I'm just going to play out.
Very empathetic of you, Bree.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is very empathetic.
Bree, really sensitive
I
child.
was. I still am.
Me on the other hand, I'm like, Asa was dumb. Not everyone's a winner. Not everyone should get a trophy. Some people get first. Some people get second.
I never got a trophy. I just now got a medal.
That's because you were inside playing house.
Yeah,
You could have won one of these
my
games.
parents didn't force me to play sports as much as they could have.
That's good, I think. I don't think
I know it
parents
is
should
good, but I want a
sports.
trophy.
Yeah, that's we'll find you a trophy. You're not gonna get it from this game, Brienne, from the looks of things.
Okay, next question.
By the way, I had a feeling this coming. Keo said, "Yay, story time! Hooray!" But so Suicide Squad trailer happened. You guys, thoughts, feelings, concerns?
I don't think Bree had time to watch
Yeah, I
it.
didn't have time to watch it. I was driving, and my New Year's resolution is to be a better driver and not use my phone so much while I'm driving.
That's very
Yeah,
admirable. It can wait.
It can wait.
It's so. She still breaks at the last possible second you can break, but at least she's not texting while doing it. So,
Priority.
Suicide Squad trailer, laddie.
I'm not running the red light. It's a trade-off.
Kills me.
Suicide Squad, their music choice is strange. And I feel like the tone of this trailer was very different, where like the last trailer they're trying to make it very like dramatic and like intense, whereas this one I feel like they've swung the other way. They're trying to make it more funny. But also I'm still not really sure what the plot is. They're just like gonna save the world, but you don't know why they need to even be assembled, why they can't just use Superman, because she even talks about Superman being a thing.
Is he just busy? Like,
Clearly exists in the realm. What?
Like, is he busy? Is he on vacation?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, once you, like, in Ant-Man, remember when he's like, why don't we just call the Avengers for this type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, like, if they exist, and so it's like, so I don't really still understand why they need to put them together, and we're not really sure what the threat is, although Scott Eastman showed up in the trailer, and
I know. I was like, whoa, where'd he come from? Eastwood.
so I can pretty much get behind that, which was cool. But again, there was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it was very, like, all in quick succession, so you're still like, I don't know what's happening still.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the whole idea like they're sending them to do something that's crazy dangerous because they don't want to put the other people at risk? That's why
But,
it's
like,
Squad.
like,
Yeah, but they
Superman's
also send them-
impervious to everything. So
Huh?
It's probably
Superman's impervious to everything.
Right, but they send him with a bunch of soldiers. who are probably also going to die. So are those guys also bad guys? I don't know.
Probably.
So, I mean, I understand the premise and why they're calling it, obviously, because Will Smith explained to us in the last trailer what they were and what their name is going to be.
Yep.
Very dramatically. Although, so I don't know. So again, I'm just like, I mean, obviously we're still going to see it, but I'm still just as confused as I've always been. And like, the Joker doesn't seem to be in prison with everyone else.
No. I'm like, is he the threat? Is that
right? Is he the threat? But then he pulls a Harley Quinn out of some milk or glue. I don't know what they're in at the end there. And
Harley Quinn is too much. Harley Quinn is only this short of being Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor at this point. Like, I'm watching this and I'm just like, no, it's too much. It's too much. Like, and maybe that's just the way the trailer's cut.
Actually didn't think she was too bad up until the very end when she's like, we're bad guys. It's what we do. And I was like, okay, all right. Okay.
We understand the premise. We get it.
Yeah, up until then, I didn't actually kind of thought she was a little quirky and weird. You know, it's like everyone's naming all of their, this girl's a witch. This guy eats people. It's like, this girl is just crazy. You're like, okay. So, again, once again, everything about this movie baffles me.
Yeah.
Everything that's ever happened. So
this is just our consistent state about this movie. It's just like, I'm just baffled. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
The music is weird in this one, and it's very distracting to me. I was super.
Was it Queen? What I can't remember what it was.
It was that.
It was Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
But it was that, like, the part that no one knows, like the middle part or something.
We know it. We know the whole part.
Like, what are you talking about, Kristen?
But I feel like it's not the part that everyone, it's not like the beginning that everyone knows, kind of. You know, it's the part in the middle where you're like, I kind of don't really remember this part, but I can, fudge my way through. It was that part of the song.
The most obscure part of the song.
Yeah. It's like it's like the 8th verse of American Pie. You're like, no one really knows what happens this far into the song.
At this point, we're all just drunkenly mumbling it.
Yeah. So, also, we've been singing the song for 8 years. But.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're not any more convinced by this. I think that's a safe way to put it. But it's here, it's happening. So there you go. It is what it is. So that happened tonight. Okay, this one. All right. For the second year in a row, no people of color were nominated for any of the 20 acting awards at the Academy Awards, leading what hashtag from last year to resurface and start trending again?
Black Lives Matter? I don't know.
That's a good guess, though.
That is a good guess.
It's Oscars So White.
Oscars So White. Kristen again with the point. That is true. 2 years in a row.
If you think about it, yours is a little more.
It's a little broader. It's a little, Black
yours
Lives Matters.
Yours encapsulates Oscars So White.
It does. That's a good way of putting it.
Black
actors in a row. 40 Black actors matter. 40 different possible places to get nominated. Not one person of color. I think everyone knows how we feel about that. Safe to say.
Yeah, and the thing about it, what was one of the ones that I read? Or no, it wasn't the ones I read. I think it was Larry Whitmore, is that his name? That other guy that's on Comedy Central Comedy Central, right?
Yeah, the guy who took over for Colbert.
No, he had his own show. I thought he had his own show before. He didn't?
Well, he took over the time slot of Colbert, but it's a different show.
Okay. So that guy apparently he did it last year too, and it's they have their own Oscars of people who won't be nominated. And he did it actually before the nominations came out, which was funny. And he named all these people who were not going to get nominated on Sunday.
Ouch.
Which was pretty funny. And you're like, oh God, that's a little on the nose. But one of the things was that movie was it Tangerine with those two women? I don't even really know what the movie. Anyway, and so the point of it was that the girl even made the comment, and he's like, well, how come this one didn't get nominated? And she goes, well, because no one saw it. And the only movies that get nominated for an Oscar are, it's like, but if you're white and you're in a movie that no one saw, you definitely get nominated. And it's like, they keep doing this. I forget what the poster was that they popped up where you're like, oh yeah, no one saw that, but it was nominated for an Oscar. And it always reminds me, again, I harp on this every time, but it still reminds me of the white chicks scenario. And no one had seen any of the Oscar nominated movies.
Yeah, everyone's like, White Chicks, yeah, I love that movie.
Like, not only did no one see this, but there was also 2 Black female leads in it. So, of course, even it's like a double whammy of not getting nominated.
Yeah.
So it was just a funny kind of joke of
They couldn't even summon up something for like Oscar Isaac this year. Like that guy was in like 10 movies where he could have won, been nominated for something, and they could think of nothing. Like,
or Benicio del Toro, who's like the staple. He gets nominated every year, doesn't he?
I feel like he does, or he should probably. If not, it's just so ridiculous. And so this year, like last year, I know I didn't watch last year because I was like, I'm not doing this. They're not going to nominate anyone of color. I'm out. And then like this year again, it seems like that like boycott is picking up, and you have people like Jada and Will Smith calling for it, David Oyelowo, like all these people being like, not doing it, we're not in. And so
then you have people like Aunt Viv,
oh god,
posting angry videos about people being angry about it, and I'm like,
I was like, okay, there's more than one issue in the world. I hate when people try to say like, oh, don't worry about that thing because there's another thing that's bad. Like, okay.
Like, we can also be upset about both things. And also, the reason you're complaining is because you hate Will Smith. Let's not mince.
Yeah. Let's be real. Like, this is just bitterness.
Yeah, let's not mince our... I'm ruining it.
We get it.
Everyone knows what you're doing here. You hate Will Smith. And so you're bitching that his wife is trying to take a stand against it. It's like, oh, she's like, you don't even nominate it, honey. I'm like, so?
That's the point.
That's yeah. But, I mean, she wasn't even in anything. But the point is, it's like, that... just because you're not nominating, you can't be upset. Like, it was the most bizarre argument. I'm like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It's one of those things where because she doesn't care about it, then it's stupid that anybody does. I'm like, that's
right, exactly
not true. Like, yes, there are people dying, and I also care about them, but that doesn't mean I can't also care about this, which is, I think, still a very important thing. Like, especially with as important as arts and movies and all those things are here, like, that's a big problem, and you should, anyway.
Well, and like that's the thing is that like when you see things reflected in art, that often has such an impact on society. And so that's one of the things that people are talking about when it comes to representation and stuff is like historically in America, when you look on TV, people who like don't live in a Black neighborhood, the only image they see of Black people on TV historically until recently has always been like the thugs and bad guys in stuff. You know, and so if that's all people think of like Black humans, or all they think of Mexicans, or all they think of Asians, that image is so important in how people react to other human beings, because that's their experience of this entire group, and we like to group people. And so having representation that shows like the broad range of what people of color are like, of what women are like, of what all kinds of minorities are like, disabled people are like, actually gives people a chance who don't see these people in their everyday lives to be like, I may be making snap judgments and not understanding people, and really actually finally get to understand them. So it's not just merely that we're asking for a token Black nominee. What we're asking for is to acknowledge that there's people who are really good at their jobs, and that it's important for them to be up there where people can see them, and their careers are impacted by whether or not they end up on that stage. So yeah, nobody's going to die because they didn't get nominated, but that doesn't mean it's not important to who gets shot by police later on, or who gets mugged on the street, or things like that when people don't know anything about people who aren't like them. So I reject Aunt Viv. Okay, you're not even real Aunt Viv anymore. Okay,
the first Aunt. Yeah, how long were you even on that for?
Yeah, it's just like one season Aunt Viv. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was Anyway.
Next question.
All
right, this one's I'm not gonna intro. I'm just gonna say it. Promising that the second series of her hit TV show will delve into issues of systemic racism in 1940s Los Angeles, this actress revealed that her character shared the first interracial kiss in comics.
Jessica Jones?
No.
Wait.
I'm going to read it again. Promising that the second series of her hit TV show will delve into issues of systemic racism in 1940s Los Angeles.
Oh,
this actress. What's it? That's the actress?
Peggy Carter. What's her name? What's the actress's name?
Peggy Carter.
The actress.
Oh, the actress? Haley
I
Atwell.
was like, we're having some separating reality from
Really
fiction
hard for me.
problem.
I'm sorry. So confused. I
Uh,
wasn't really listening the first time around also, or I was I don't know.
in another
I got
world.
hung up in the 1940s. I'm like, okay, so it's probably a mobster show. And so after that,
There's too many words in that question.
I stopped
We
listening.
could only.
I stopped listening after that. I'm like, okay, 1940s. So definitely gonna have to, yeah.
Keo, you are half correct. It's Haley Atwell, Agent
Yeah,
Carter.
and then I definitely thought it was Star Trek because I was like, oh, first interracial kiss.
I'm like,
that was.
It's not exactly a comic.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I'm like, damn it, well, I don't know too much about Star Trek, so.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna keep my questions shorter next time.
Yeah,
Can't
or
follow
like
it.
write them down and hold them up on a flashcard
Yeah,
board.
card. There you go. That'll be the way to do it.
Parts highlighted.
An interview with Haley Atwell, in Variety, I believe. She said that she was like, if I'm lying, I'm sorry, but this is what people at Marvel told me. Peggy Carter was the first interracial kiss in comics ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure someone drew comics like on the low who had that, but in mainstream comics, that was the first. So in this season of Agent Carter, beginning tonight, there is going to be her love triangle is going to involve, of course, Sousa and another black
He's a
fella,
doctor.
a doctor. And they're not gonna shy away from it. They're like, the first season, like the way she looked at it, she's like, first season we dealt with a lot of the gender stuff and all that, and she's like, Peggy, we'll still have to deal with that to a certain extent, but she's proved herself more, so she won't have to deal with it to the same extent. But with this character, we're gonna see a lot of what he has to deal with in a time at which people were not okay with Black people. So, you know, that's pretty cool.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this season. I cannot even tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I am so excited.
Really
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it.
I
This
just
is-
love everything about her.
Yeah.
And Jarvis is so amazing, and Sousa is amazing,
Yes.
and
Everything
I'm
about
sure
it.
New Guy's gonna be amazing. I don't know what his character's name is, but
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do have the article open somewhere in here.
not that important. We're gonna watch it in like 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, we'll watch it soon and it'll be great. I'm just I'm excited about that. I think that adds something to it. And it's a complaint that people actually have had a lot, is just sort of it's the lack of intersectionality in a lot of feminist things at this point, where it's like, oh, okay, this is great for white feminists, but what about people of color and stuff like that? And, you know, for the show to just sort of tackle that head on and be like, yeah, all right, we're going for it. This is happening, is cool. And the link to this Variety article will be on the blog on electricfeast.com, and it's worth reading. It's a great interview, and Haley Atwell is just so incredibly well spoken and really thinks through things, and is really, I mean, just comes at things from an angle where she's like, I don't know everything, but here's what I know. And, you know, she's an impressive person. She's an impressive woman.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And Peggy Carter is obviously super impressive as well. So we're stoked on that. All right, we have left 2 more questions.
Okay.
Here we go. Hoping to have found the next Downton Abbey. PBS aired this Civil War costume drama. Its first original American-made drama in over a decade. You guys have to wait for me to read a question so that people at home know what I'm saying.
No.
Brienne.
Or Jeopardy. That's not how it would work. Mercy
Yeah,
Street.
it is. It's Mercy Street. Correct. On Jeopardy, you have to wait until he finishes the question. If you buzz in early, then you don't get to answer.
Oh, I thought you had to answer not hearing the whole question.
No, it's not how that works. The opposite of that. Mercy Street is the name of the show. Brienne and I watched it. Kristen, did you watch it yet?
No.
It's kind of a hot mess.
Hot because of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but still a mess.
Oh, it was funny because I was on Twitter and like 3 people. Okay, so I don't really follow that many people, so
I follow 3 people.
So my feed is like relatively, no. Well, maybe that's a theme song. I don't know, the Peter Gabriel song.
No.
Brienne, did I not say the same thing? I was like, that's a Peter Gabriel song. We think alike. Anyways, continue, Kristen.
People on Twitter were saying, like I said, I don't follow that many people, and so like 5 people that I follow, I think just new people who are working on it. So they're like, yeah, Mercy Street's so good. I'm like, oh, that's cool, it's doing well. And then I like scroll it, like you have new tweets, and I clicked on it, and it was yours. I was like, Mercy Street is a hot mess, and I was like, oh, well, okay. There's also that, you know. So.
It's like, here's what I said about it is you're watching it, I'm like, I don't know why, like in our current political climate, they decided they needed a show that demonizes the North and makes the South seem like super sympathetic, which is what this show does. Like every Northerner or every anti-abolition or every abolitionist, not anti-abolition, every abolitionist and every Northerner is like kind of an asshole. And all the Southerners or the Northerners who are like don't care about abolition are like the reasonable good people in the show. And I'm like, what is happening here? I don't understand.
It's like they're in this city in Virginia, I can't remember which one, that has just been taken by the North, and so there's still a lot of Southern sympathizers. Yeah. And so most of the people they have in the hospital, in the Army hospital, are North. And so they have one guy from the South, and like the daughter of the person who owns the hotel that they've commandeered for the hospital is helping out this guy from the South. And they go to her and are like, what are you doing wasting medicine on that guy? You know, he's the enemy. So that's pretty much the gist of
the entire show is basically people scolding. Yeah, it's people scolding others for like having problems with Confederates.
Oh, and then the owners of the hotel keep, you know, complaining that, hey, you've commandeered my hotel and we're just trying to live our lives. And the Northern generals are like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's
we're not getting.
He's like, well, war is hell.
Yeah. And they won't get paid for like hosting people in this hotel unless they swear an oath to the Union, and they don't want to do that, you know. And so it's like the whole thing is just like there's not really any sympathetic abolitionist or Northern like characters really. And it's like what about life right now makes you think we need this? You know, like we have no problem with people feeling excessively sympathetic to the Confederacy at this point. That's not a problem. People are
North
really
Carolina just took down the Confederate flag like
6 months ago. Like we're okay. This is fine. So yeah, it's messy. It's messy, and it's not like the story isn't even that compelling. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be waiting for. Like I think inevitably I'm supposed to be interested in the point at which Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Ted from How I Met Your Mother fall in love. But I don't like either of them, so I don't care.
I want her to fall in love with the black guy.
Ooh. I think that's going to be the triangle, obviously. It's going to be the black guy and Ted. Ideas for
a good idea.
You act out new TV shows for us. That could work.
I took intro to acting for non-majors, so I'm pretty good.
It's true.
She's pretty solid.
I got an A.
You could be the director.
Yeah. All right. So the final question before we get the one that we'll leave everyone with for the week.
Okay, so don't answer this one?
No. This one you answer. The next one you won't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one's the last one for you guys. David Bowie turned down an invitation from this British band to collaborate on a song they'd written, responding, "It's not a very good song, is it?"
Coldplay.
Coldplay. Kristen got it.
Oh, he would never turn on One Direction.
They don't write very good songs, do they?
Also, good job, Long. Long answered that correctly as well.
Hi,
Long. Good job. Kristen, did you know that or did you just guess?
It was a mixture of both. I felt like I'd heard this somewhere. And I was like, everyone hates Coldplay. That must
she
be
heard
who it is.
British and not very good song.
Yeah.
She was like, Coldplay, clearly. Yeah, they told this story the other day in an interview that Chris Martin had written a song that had sort of a David Bowie-esque character, as they put it. and they sent it to David Bowie and was like, hey, do you want to collaborate on this song? And he was like, nope, that's a bad song. And so the guys from Coldplay were like, we were sad we didn't get to work with him, but we also respect that he wasn't just going to sign his name to anything.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, that's it. So yeah, that's, and Long says, hi guys. That is my final question for you gals. Kristen clearly won 123.75.
You know I'm never going to be on the show again now.
I know, man, we finally get you on here.
Next time we want to do a quiz.
Kristen won 4.75 points to 2 points.
4.75.
I helped her with the Peggy Carter one.
All right, 2.25 points for Brie.
Okay.
And a final question for those at home: when you listen to this, if you can answer before Tuesday, the 26th of January, on our Twitter or our Facebook, here's our question for you. Last night, January 18th, 2016, something rare occurred when final wagers were revealed on Jeopardy. What happened?
Ooh, I know this one too.
Hey, we'll talk about it after we go off air. So that's your question for this week. Shoot us that answer and you could win this $25 gift card or something more appropriate to your region of the United States or world. We'll find an appropriate gift for you either way. So with that, Brienne, producer Bree, thanks for joining us this evening.
Sure.
Sorry, I beat the game.
I don't know what that sound was, but
High
glad to
five.
have you. Yeah. Now you all can put a voice to the name that you've been hearing all this time.
In the face.
And a face. Well, if you're watching.
Well, if you're watching it.
If you're not watching, then just a voice.
Just a voice.
Exactly.
The producer Bree.
So if you liked this quiz strategy, let us know. If you hated it and never want us to do it again, let us know that as well. We're interested in hearing from you. And hopefully we'll have more prizes for you as time goes on, and we'll have a lot of fun.
We do it again.
Bree hates it. Doesn't want us to do
Bree
it again.
hates it. Bree's done. She's like, screw this. So for this week on Electric Fancave, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you can find us. Subscribe to us, rate and review us so other people can find us, and don't forget to share if you like an episode, because the more you pass this around, the more friends are listening, and the more you can talk about it, like when you get to work, when you go to school, and like at pub quiz or whatever. You guys can all chat about how much fun it is to listen to the Electric Fancave. So do spread the love. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, Electric Fancave, so you can answer our trivia question of the week, or you can just talk to us, drop us a line. Give us some trivia questions if you want. We're always down to try to answer those. And I think that about sums it up. So for this week, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
I'm Kristen Lotterell.
I'm Brienne Brassea.
Peace out, everybody.
Take it easy, kids.
I thought Brienne was going to have a line.